Welcome back everyone, and today I'm in the heart of Death Valley. As you can see, I'm walking up this washout, and I'm headed up that way. Now, up this way, I found on Google Maps some abandoned cabins, some buildings, stuff like that. However, with that being said, a lot of abandoned places in Death Valley tend to be mining operations and related to mining activity. This one, I scoped out the surrounding area and I didn't see any mining activity within a radius that would mark this as a mining camp. So who knows why they were living out here. Maybe it was a mining operation, but I don't see any other mines around. I don't see any mines around, so yeah, we'll see. And this place I'm especially excited about because a lot of places in Death Valley tend to be high tourism. Even the abandoned places aren't really that secretive, just because so many people go through Death Valley for visiting and whatnot like that. So what makes this place unique is the fact that nobody knows about it. It's a secretive place. Very little people know about it. It's not advertised anywhere you could go on Google, do your research. You won't find anything about this place. So it's desolate. There's no road going to it. I kind of had to make my own road. I've been hiking for half a mile. Got about half a mile to go. It's a hot summer's day, so should be interesting. Okay guys, so a quick update. I actually ended up way overshooting my location. In the distance you could see those buildings that I'm looking at today. So I definitely walked too far because I came from at the bottom of this where this specific mountain that we're on, where it ends, walking up the wash. And the other thing, actually ended up walking up the wrong wash. That's the wash that I was walking up right there, and had to hike up this mountain. And now we're hiking down. We're gonna walk to those buildings. So that's that. Basically made it too complicated. I overcomplicated things and went way too far. So let's hike down and check out those buildings. Now arrived, and it looks like a very interesting place. Quite a few things to look at. You could see to the right of us there's another building which seems to be in rather good condition. There's a couple of vehicles, what looks like a workshop to the left of us. However, I have looked all around the mountains as I was hiking down. Didn't see any signs of mines. Right off the bat, to the right of us is an old fridge. See a lot of old fridges in these ghost towns. This is looking at the front of the house. Now we're gonna go inside. Looks like a pipe that was probably on the roof at one point, but it's just fallen down. There's a ladder on the roof. Maybe they were doing some maintenance before this place was abandoned. That window's still there. And no patio or porch. At one point they had one. So let's go inside. Keep in mind too, this is a part of Death Valley where you can't drive to, so it really shows there's not going to be a lot of visitors. Yeah, the roof isn't in all that bad of condition, neither. Looking up at the roof. So you have some bunk beds right there. Someone built some bunk beds up with a support so you don't fall off. That looks like it was once an entryway. And it did have electricity, which is surprising. That's neat to see. Then there's a bed right here. It's all covered up. That was a couch. On this side, got 2 chairs, which is some trash on this side, some old wood. Shelf right there, a table, and then a bunch of cans. We have another room. This room isn't in as good of condition. You can see the roof is starting to fall off, and got a small window right there. That was the old screen for it. This was the bathroom. That's the bathtub. So that means it had running water. And then up there was a light, so we had electrical as well. So they had it pretty good. A lot of the miners didn't have electricity, and some of them didn't even have running water into their cabins and houses. It really depends on the age of the mining operation. However, I've noticed a lot of them tend to be like that. With this one being in Death Valley, of course it's gonna have more than others since it's a harsher environment to live in. Looking back outside, got some vehicles to look at. We're going to look at those last. However, first, let's go up there and look at that workshop. So they had multiple water tanks. And there's a workshop right there. Let's see these water tanks first. So there's that barrel up there first of all, with some piping connected to it. So that was used for water. See, this room strongest made for, let's see, the money. Don't roll or keep on the bottom. How old this is. It'd be nice to see a company label. It's empty. Yeah, it just keeps going and going. There's more stuff. Let's see this stuff real quick. Another, oh, look at that. Old exhaust, old vehicle exhaust, muffler. Old water tank. Even on this side though, just look up those mountains, you don't see any waste rock piles. So I wonder where they mined. If they did any mining. They had to have. Why else would they be out here? It's pretty easy to identify waste rock. Even on satellite maps you could see it. You could easily tell where a mine is most of the time. With that being said, I did scope this place out prior to coming out here, and I didn't see any waste rock. That's why I assumed it's not a mine operation, a mining camp. The roof, looks like the roof to a pickup truck. Camper shell. That was the outhouse in the distance. This is just some old wood, not wood, well, some old wood and metal. Looks like some vehicle parts. Looking at the workshop and the cabin. Which the workshop looks very interesting. I do think that's to be something of interest to check out. Workshop isn't in as good of condition as a lot of the other stuff, like such as the cabin we looked at. However, it's still going to be interesting. Looking that way, the old vehicles, then just a small room right here, nothing in it. That's a big old rock. They built this place right on a rock. Maybe they had the idea it'd be extra sturdy and floods and whatnot like that. And yeah, the roof is gone. A lot of it's gone on that side. No wall. There's really nothing left in this part. They did have plumbing. I could see that right there. Had a stairs. There's a couple of steps to go up. Then a water tank, another water tank. They sure had a lot of water. Skidoo. So maybe that's a good indication that this was active back when the Skidoo mining operation in the Skidoo ghost town was active. However, this isn't close to Skidoo, especially in the old days back when traveling took a lot longer with older vehicles and whatnot. Some people not even having vehicles, so it's interesting that that's a Skidoo. Despite it not being very close to Skidoo, it was probably at least a day's trip for someone to go to Skidoo from this location. Although I do think, just from looking at that, this was probably active around the same time that Skidoo was active. Just a small mining camp. This is looking, let's do a quick 360 view. Miner's workshop. Really nothing to look at in there. We already searched. 2 vehicles we have yet to check out, and the old cabin. So let's now hike down and check those vehicles out. Now we're going to go this way, check out these vehicles. One thing I did notice is if you see in the distance, there's some discoloration in the rock. Generally, from my experience, discoloration means mining activity some of the time. However, it would be bizarre if the mine community, the mining camp, was above the mines. Generally, the mines are above the mining camp. And it doesn't really, I don't see any ore bins or anything that would indicate mining other than the workshop. With that being said, it was probably a mining community despite that, just because what else would they be doing out here? This doesn't open, but that glass is really cool. You always see those glass in the windows, people come and break them. This one's still intact. That's still a solid piece of glass. It's rolled down. And another cool thing, look at that gauge. What's the mileage? Let's see. Yeah, that's really cool. Front of a pickup truck. The cabin. And then going this way, it's just some old vehicle parts. Front of a vehicle, the hood. Looking back at that one. Oh, it still had a mirror on it too. I didn't see that. Another muffler. That's a big muffler too. I just replaced a muffler on my vehicle and it's half the size of that one. I actually got a larger muffler in stock just so it's extra quiet. And you could see the front of this one. This looks very cool. That grill, that is a menacing looking grill. I'd love to have a vehicle with a grill like that that sticks out. Chevy emblem. It's really neat. Now this is the vehicle that's most intact. It's not in too bad of condition. Looks like some pack rats have made the trunk a nest, so I'm not even going to try opening that. That's how you know we're in a place that's relatively unknown. It's just from how good of condition everything is in. Like this stuff, it's just natural decay. There's no vandals or anything. There's no vandal activity. So I had a bench seat, and seats in the back don't look like they're that bad of condition. Still got the gauge and everything too. Steering wheel. Let me get in and let's see. 100 miles an hour top speed. Even the front windows are in good condition. That's how you know we're in such a desolate place. See the engine, still got the engine, although a lot of stuff has been taken out. That's a big engine though. This thing must have been a gas hog. Big American engine. Let's see, Pontiac. Pontiac's not even a company now. They went bankrupt. General Motors killed them off during the recession. I'm looking down the mountain right now, and there's definitely nothing else to look at. That discoloration is just discoloration in the mountain, but it's not a mine. So this is it today. One last look at the mine before I get going. A really neat place. I'd definitely say so. So be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and now I'm going to begin the long hike back. Well, not long, but a couple miles.